What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 177 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
I'm eagerly awaiting the Titans Oilers throwback jersey drop. That's what I'm.
Yeah,
That's what
I mean, you know, like those aren't important. It's just the Titans.
I mean, the last time they did Oilers throwback was 2009, and that was 50 years of that was 50 years of the American Football League.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah, and so I was barely 17 then, and so now I'm like, well, now I have adult money and I can go buy one.
I was gonna say it, but you beat me to it.
So now that's what I'm waiting to do.
So if Carl, gets quiet in the middle of this episode and then suddenly gets very excited, it's because he went and bought a Titans jersey.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So, I guess I should ask, what are we doing today since you're spending all your money?
So we talked about this last week. This is going to be the start of our build up for Worlds. We're less than like 3 weeks away now or something like that. Let me double check my dates here.
Yeah, it's like mid-August, right? The 24th?
It should be like, it's much earlier than
17th?
that. I was about to say, I think it's the 17th.
I know this upcoming weekend is the Pro Tour for the Lord of the Rings set for Magic, so I know you care a lot about that one.
So Worlds is August 11th through the August 13th, so we are just 2 weekends away from that.
Got it.
So we have this last weekend of July, and then the first weekend of August, and then it's Worlds. So yeah, so a little bit over 2 weeks, pretty close to 2 weeks. And so
interesting.
This will be our Worlds tier list, however you guys want to call it, where we're going to rank all the Pokemon that are available in Regulation D based on how we think they're going to impact the Worlds meta. And then next week we got Jay, Maybe, and Ro coming on, and you're going to be doing something that next weekend for.
Yeah, I'm gonna be not available.
And so I think Ro and Angelo and I are going to talk. Ro, Jay, and I are going to talk about like expectations at Worlds and things like that.
It seems all right. It seems like a fun episode there for you all. So I guess we should probably just jump in and get started on this, since it's going to be a lot of hey, this Pokemon sucks.
Yeah, this is probably going to be about this could be a 2-parter, but we're going to try and fit it all in one.
So,
starting.
Do we just start here at the top?
Yeah, let's go start at the top. Charizard.
Charizard, I cannot read your tiers here.
Meta defining pretty good, has a niche, needs help. You probably should play something else.
I'm going to put this in needs help.
That's what I was thinking.
It's not terrible,
but it's a Charizard.
It's not the mon I'm gonna click to play.
Yeah, it's a Charizard. Let's be honest here. It needs the sun. It's got to have the team around it. I know you've mentioned that you had a team with Charizard that all the other creators have been playing, and you wanted to play it.
And then life happened, and I haven't got to it. So you know, the usual.
It's a Charizard. I don't think you're going to see a ton of Charizard running around Worlds in general. I know we just got another mystery event gift one for the anime or whatever it is.
Sure, man. Why wouldn't we have? Why would that not be the case?
But Charizard it doesn't do enough. It needs that extra special treatment. The reason it was so good in Sword and Shield is because it had Gigantamax, and Gigantamax Wildfire was very good. And the reason it was good in the Mega generations because it had 2 different Megas that were very, very powerful. And it doesn't have any of that here. Now it's just dies to random water move.
Yeah, it is not the Sunsweeper that it has been the last several generations. And, I feel like we talk about this every time we talk about Charizard. It doesn't have a Mega Evolution. It doesn't have anything special going for it. Unfortunately, that's just kind of it. It's just not good at this point.
Yeah, like it's not getting the protagonist treatment that it normally gets in this generation, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing in my opinion.
That's kind of where I'm at.
You should probably play something else.
Venomoth sucks. Persian is pretty bad.
I think Alolan Persian, unfortunately, is also in the needs help category.
Yeah.
Golduck.
Do we want to talk about why Persian is better than Venomoth?
Alolan Persian in general is just like you're a prankster. You have Fake Out. Fur Coat's really cool. Parting Shot, Fast Quash, so you're not having to be prankster. There's a lot that Alolan Persian does. It's just not good right now.
I mean, that's just like the way it is, right? Like it's just whatever. It doesn't really do anything. So there's
better support Pokemon right now that are doing similar things, and it just can't keep. It doesn't keep up.
Yep, 100%.
Golduck, just go play something else.
Any other Mon. There's a billion other better.
We've got a million better Swift Swimmers in this thing. Go play those.
And we have a billion other Cloud9 users that are just strictly better too. Just don't.
So I want to put Arcanines kind of together, or at least if we can put them together, close together. I know a lot of people have swapped over to Hisuian Arcanine and are doing like head smash things, which cool.
Yeah, I played against it in Draft League this week. It killed me.
Yeah. I just feel like both have their upsides and their downsides, but they're still pretty good Pokemon.
Yep.
Probably second or third best Intimidator in the format right now, I would say.
Yeah. I think you could put regular Arcanine up in meta defining. Like it is just one of the best It is the best Intimidator, right? Like,
I wouldn't call it the best Intimidator. We have Landorus again.
Yeah, but like, how many Landoruses are you seeing running around?
A lot more than you think. Plus, Landorus gets to pivot now. It's great.
True.
Like honestly, most people are playing Hisuian Arcanine. I think part of it's new toy syndrome.
I actually think every time I've played against it, it's been really impressive. In all actuality, I do think it's a good Mon.
Yeah, it's a good Mon. I just play regular Arcanine.
That's kind of where I'm at. But,
you don't have to play the head smash stuff. Like, you're going to take so much recoil. Like, you're literally just at that point trading your Intimidate Mon for maybe a KO. Like,
Yep.
I don't know if I'm okay with that. Like, it's not like traditional Arcanine where it's like bulky, try to pivot and intimidate, snarl stuff. The Hisuian Arcanine is, I'm gonna beat your face in. That's my job.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Slowbros, yeah.
Yep. They're not great.
Mux, probably not that great.
I like Kanto more than I like Johto. I mean, I like Alolan better than Kanto. There we go. If I could talk, good lord, guys, we're in for a rough night tonight. Holy cow, we're like 8 Pokemon on the board, and I can't talk already.
It's because you were confusing Slowking with Slowbro.
Sure, man. Let's go with that. Let's go with that and say that's why.
Muck, not that great. Power Alchemy's cool. This thing, it's not good enough right now.
It's not. I like it, but it's not good. Hypno sucks. Electrode's pretty bad. Scyther sucks.
I kind of wanted to slap these two here and put this here. The Tauros, the Aqua and Fire Tauros, like they were going to be really cool. And they kind of haven't really lived up to the hype. I think Fire gets the nod over Water right now, just being a neutral hit to Fluttermane rather than being a super effective hit to Fluttermane. For Fluttermane, that's a big deal. I think Fluttermane's still everywhere in this format. Fluttermane has not gone anywhere, especially with all the new Pokemon we got. It still eats people up. So being weak to Fluttermane is a big downside right now, especially going into Worlds. You want to be able to deal with Fluttermane effectively, and if you have a bunch of Pokemon that are weak to Fluttermane, you're probably going to have a bad time.
Yep, big agree.
We'll put Gyarados in pretty good. It's still pretty good.
It's fine, right?
It's like I said, between Landorus, Arcanine, and Gyarados, like those are like probably the top 3 Intimidators right now. Like in that, Landorus is probably number 1, and then Arcanine and Gyarados kind of flip flop back and forth depending on what's popular right now. Like if Iron Hands is more popular, Arcanine does a little bit better. If Iron Hands and stuff is less popular, then Gyarados does a little bit better. Kind of just
Hands has been popping up.
Like I've seen a fair share of hands, but I've also just like ran into teams that should have hands and then they don't.
Agreed. Vaporeon sucks. Let's see. Articunos are all pretty bad. That Zapdos is really bad.
I could probably put it in needs help. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I think regular Zapdos is as good as. Yeah, I'd put it up there. I think it's pretty good.
It's taking a minute for Zapdos to get popular, but again, everybody had been playing with like Hisui and Gudra and all the PLA mons that we got, and Zapdos really hasn't had time to have been explored fully. I think having access to Tailwind and Roost is really, really good. You can set this thing next to Tornadus or Thunderous or whatever, and it does Rain Dance, Hurricane things. It's great. I think as the format continues to develop, the closer we get to Worlds, the more Zapdos we're going to see with like Rillaboom, Heatran, etc. What's next?
Goltrez, I think
it's probably niche. Like you could do stuff with it. Like there's a team that probably thrives with Galarian Moltres, but I don't know like what it looks like. And again, Fluttermane's everywhere. Like you're weak to Fluttermane, so you kind of are forced to Terra.
Mm-hmm.
Like yes, you're fairly bulky, and you kind of want to take that hit, but you really don't want to tank the super effective Fairy hit.
Yep.
We'll put regular Moltres into. You probably should play something else. It's not that great.
Yep. It's really not good.
Even with the Tailwind buff, it's not that great. Where are we at? Dragonite.
Dragonite is meta defining.
Yeah, this thing has become a Chien-Pao Dragonite is a monster. Chien-Pao plus Dragon right now seems to be really, really good in general. I've seen people using Dragapult, Excalibur, and all these other non-Dragonite dragons kind of just like to throw people off a little bit. I think Dragonite's still good at what it does. E-Speed's really powerful.
I agree.
Inner Focus is cool. Multi-Scale's cool. Marvel Scale, right? No, Multi-Scale.
Multi-Scale. Marvel Scale is Milotic.
Yeah. That's the stats one.
Correct.
But yeah, Dragonite's really cool. It's really good. It's interesting that it's become like top tier meta after like kind of being like the weaker pseudo legend for a while. It's cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I agree. It has been so hit or miss the last several generations, and now it feels like it has actually come to its own.
Being able to Terra, I think, helps it a lot. Plus, Chien-Pao makes it hit harder.
Also, yes. Combination of the two is just really good.
Typhlosion. Got any thoughts on that?
I think Typhlosion's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's kind of in my consensus.
I think Hisuian is better than Johto, but I also think that all the Johto starters are pretty bad and need a lot of love.
Yeah. Ampharos, probably the same boat, unfortunately.
Yep. Big agree.
Azumarill.
Azu is
this is interesting,
pretty
right?
niche, but like I also think it's pretty good.
I'm about to say I think this is taking the step up from niche. It's kind of starting to enter like normal playable territory. Like this is something you actually kind of have to build around, like right? Like you have to watch for it.
I think you're right.
It's we're like we don't have any strong electric presence yet outside of like Thunderous. Incarnate doing Wild Bolt Storm.
Hmm.
The only like big grass type you have to worry about, I think, is Rillaboom. And so if you can like dodge that, then Azumarill just come and play and just hit really hard.
Yep, it seems really good.
They've even navigated away from Belly Drum, which is hilarious. They've become like these bulky AV sets with huge power, and like they just tank a couple of hits and knock things out that they probably shouldn't be knocking out. It's hilarious.
It seems moderately annoying.
It is. It's designed to be that very. Sudowoodo get in the box. Jumpluff.
It's not the worst Pokemon I've ever played against.
This thing is bulkier than you think it would be. Like you could take decent hits in certain matchups. It does need a little bit more help. It's very niche. It's like if you wanted to play Rage Powder plus like Sleet, you might just play a Mungus instead. But like Joe's made this thing popular with the Sun team. But outside of that, I haven't really seen it.
I'm currently losing to a Jumpluff in random battles. It has Infiltrator, man. I can't beat it.
You can't stop it.
Oh, man. I'm not in a great position, in case you're curious.
I'm not surprised. Jumpluff's going to wreck you.
It's almost dead.
Well, there you go.
All right, I outsped it. Oh, I'm Scarf. That's why. Okay, cool. Sunflora sucks.
Yep, Sunflora's not good. Quagsire's not good. Umbreon.
I want Quag to be good, but it's not.
I want Umbreon to be good. It's also not good right now.
It's so weird, man. I think it will be, but for now, it's really not.
Yeah. Let's talk about Murkrow. This is the discussion right here.
Murkrow sucks.
You think so? You think it's? You think it's down here now? Now that we have other Prankster
really,
Tailwind months?
I don't think it's playable. I just really do not think it's playable in basically any capacity.
There's people playing it still.
That doesn't mean I agree with them.
Foul Play's decent. Prankster Haze is decent. You got Quash if you want to do that. There's a lot to like about Murkrow. I think it deserves a little bit more love than you're giving it, probably. But it's definitely being outclassed by like Tornadus and Thundurus and things like that. Did you win?
Oh no, I'm probably dead.
Well, that means we can talk about Slowbro.
I think it's pretty bad too. I think both of them are pretty not great.
How about
if we're being honest? Can you give me something we can actually talk about?
Scizor.
It's not great.
I think Scizor's picking up in popularity again.
I think it's fine. I just don't think it's all that good. I think the fact that it can do a ton into Flutter Mane is actually really interesting, but like also you have to deal with all the Intimidators running around, which then can potentially eat up your item slot. Which
I think Clear Amulet's still fine. Like
I think it is too, but
like,
then you're also losing out on extra damage from like Life Orb or Choice Band. But I also think that like Clear Amulet, I think Intimidate is so popular that you need to be able to have that resistance or that immunity to Intimidate. Which like you can also address in team building by pairing this with like a competitive or Defiant Mon. But end of the day, I still don't think it's all that good. But I think it is better than Charizard, right? I do think it is a tier up from Charizard.
I can't wait to get Milotic back so we have a competitive Mon again.
What are you talking about? We have Galarian Articuno.
No.
I didn't say a good one.
I'm about to say, I will play competitive Wigglytuff before I play competitive Galarian Articuno.
Well, that's a statement. You heard it here first,
I will
folks.
play Wigglytuff before I play Articuno. Here's an interesting one. So we obviously had access to Eviolite Stantler before. Does having access to Weird Deer like make Stantler any different in your minds? Is it still just worse?
It's still not good.
Yeah, it's not good, but is it like, is it needs
It's
help, or is it still just play something else?
I think you should, if you're looking for, if you're looking to compete at Worlds on a serious level, I would not play Stantler.
I mean, you'd catch somebody off guard at least once. I'd be
You correct. You would. That doesn't mean it's the play, right?
I'm just moving stuff. Don't mind me.
Yeah, Blissy's pretty bad. Slaking's pretty bad. Camerupt sucks.
Hey,
I just
look!
lost to a Camerupt.
Look at all these
It was
Gen
like
3 mons.
it was Camerupt plus Jump Bluff, which did me in.
There we go. Tyranitar. Thoughts
I,
on the T-Tar?
I still don't think it's very good. Like, it's not the worst Pokemon, but like when you look at the rest of the meta, I just don't think it really has a place.
It's tough right now, right? Like we mentioned earlier, Iron Hands is popular. If Hisuian Arcanine can run close combat and just blow it up, it kind of forces a Terra. Prankster Weather's now around, so it's much harder to keep weather control in front of it. Even things like Pelipper and Torkoal are popular now, so it's like keeping your weather, taking advantage of it, and then you have to tear it away from rock usually to actually do something, so you lose the bonus anyway.
Yep.
it just doesn't do enough, unfortunately.
It's really close to doing something, and unfortunately, is this just ain't it, boss.
I noticed Pelipper's not on this list.
Well, there's a reason it's not good.
Yeah,
that's a lie. Pelipper is still the best rain setter we have. Well,
no, it's not. I can think of at least two.
Caught myself.
So I can think of at least two.
Myself.
Pelipper would probably be in the niche category. It's more out of necessity than anything else.
Yeah.
Hariyama, get out of here. There's no real reason to play Hariyama unless like you could just play Iron Hands. Torkoal. I would put this in pretty good.
It's fine, right? Like it's not awful.
Trick Room still isn't great. It's in a real rough spot. Partly due to the fact that teams can just stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the teams are getting bulky enough already to where you can kind of just stall out Trick Room turns. Especially if you have your own like anti-Trick Room mon on your team. I use Cresselia a ton in this way. It's just like, oh, you're gonna set Trick Room? Okay, here's Cresselia. Like, what are you gonna do to it? Hit it with a fire move? Cool. And so Torkoal, it's like the best we have for Sun. It does a lot of cool synergies with all like the Scarlet Paradox mons, which is why this is probably a little inflated. But I do think like Pelipper itself is lower on the spectrum, mainly due to the fact that we have things like Torkoal and we have things like Torkoal that can take it away. We have Tornadus and Thundurus to kind of do the Pelipper job better in a sense. So there's not really a good replacement for Torkoal outside of Tornadus, exactly Tornadus. But then you're hurting you're not getting bonuses for Bleak Windstorm or Hurricane or anything like that. So
yeah,
at that point, like if you're looking for Sun, just play Torkoal or Murkrow.
True.
Here's a fun one to talk about. So I was watching YouTube stuff this afternoon at work.
Okay.
Clover Bells put out a video talking about the 5 dragons that aren't named Dragonite that you should be playing right now. Salamence made the list. Granted, it was the last on the list.
Let me see if I can name the other 4.
It should be pretty easy.
Guess Hisuian Gudra.
No, was not on the list.
Oh. Okay, let me go pull up Showdown. Let me type in dragon. See what pops up. Alright, so Dragapult definitely.
Yep.
Roaring Moon.
Yep.
Baxcalibur.
Yep.
Hydreigon?
No.
Oh, Reggie Drago.
No.
I'm disappointed. He does not respect Drago enough. Did I say Chomp?
No, but that's the other one. It's Chomp.
That's disappointing. Reggie Drago is an all-star.
Reggie Drago won a small Japanese tour.
Dude, the team is so good too. I love it. The little bit I have played the last week or so, I've played with it, and I'm just like, man, this seems kind of cool. But to be fair, I was also playing Drago before that. So.
Yeah. So the idea behind the Salamence set is you have access to things like dual wing beat, which gets around Sash, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You can Terra away from your big fairy weakness into Terra Steel. You've got both opportunities to be kind of a mixed attacker in any situation, or lean one way or the other. Intimidate's really powerful. So there's a lot to like about Salamence if the meta lines up for it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a Pokemon that you're going to build around and it's going to be great. This is a kind of a Pokemon that kind of just like, I need Intimidate and this tool. Let's slot in Salamence, who has access to Tailwind and Intimidate and can do this and that in the situation. We don't have a whole lot of like good Intimidate Tailwinds, as he put Staraptor in. You should probably play something else.
Yep.
Like, I think this is probably the best you're going to get in terms of, like, if you want Intimidate and Tailwind. And I think someone will probably show up at Worlds with Salamence doing exactly that. There's a lot to like, and then there's a lot to have problems with, right? Like, Salamence isn't great.
It's not quite fast enough. Its offenses are both good, which means it's lacking somewhere. Which means it's lacking in bulk.
It's what, base 100 speed, and then 100 and 110, or 100 and 125, or something like that.
Let me confirm. 95, 135, 80, 110, 80, 100.
Yeah. So,
it's like, for a pseudo, being 600, it's good stats, but when you look at the rest of the meta, it's not great.
Yeah. But there you'll probably see a Salamence somewhere, just because people have talked about it enough now.
I think you're more likely to see Salamence in your Charizard.
For sure, right?
Yeah.
Don't mind me just getting rid of some of this stuff.
Throwing some more junk in there.
Yeah, going through some of Gen 4. Let's talk about Gastrodon.
Gastro is interesting, right?
So, like, Storm Drain, obviously really good. Only one weakness, obviously really good. Yawn. There's a lot to like about, like, ground coverage.
There's
a lot to like about Gastrodon. The format hasn't really caught up with to put Gastrodon in an advantageous position yet.
Correct. And that is the problem we are currently experiencing.
Yeah, like we're in a state where it's just like Gastrodon could be good, like, in a world where Waterfoo is everywhere. Storm Drain Gastrodon is really, really good because it's just like, you can't hit me.
Yep.
You thought you were gonna Surging Strikes my Landorus or whatever? Nah, I'm gonna eat it instead. I think this will probably be more popular once we get to Worlds. The format's kind of already starting to head in that direction. People are kind of starting to get into more balance heavy teams, away from the more run you down in 4 turns with hyper offense.
Yep.
And so eventually I think Gastrodon will make an appearance. It's kind of the idea.
Yeah, I think that's like pretty like well said, right? I think that if Waterfoo continues to be good, there has to be, a free answer to it, right? And Gastrodon has done that historically. But, like, also historically, there was a giant whale that was shooting off water spouts that you didn't want to take.
Yeah.
So,
when there's a big problematic water type, Gastrodon is there to save the day.
And until then, this is the world we live in.
Yep. All right. Garchomp.
Chomp is good.
How good?
Is it really good? I don't know.
Is it pretty good?
I don't know, man.
Chomp has fallen off a lot in the last, like, months going into Regulation D. It started to really... there was a Regulation C team that played it, and I wasn't a fan of that when I was like trying out stuff and watching it. It just never clicked really well with me, and it clicked well with specific people, but I never actually saw it do well outside of those specific people. So I think it's more player diff doing with something they like rather than this Pokemon is just really good and far ahead of the meta. Garchomp, it was great in Series 1, fine in Series 2. I think it has fallen off a lot now that we have like Bundle and Fluttermane. And now that we're into this format where we have things like Tornadus and Thundurus to kind of just be weird and annoying,
Yep.
You really struggle. Now that there's a good Prankster Tailwind, you're not outspeeding stuff anymore. Yep. Unless you have your own Prankster Tailwind. That being said, you could probably do something with it still. I think there's a world that you could probably build something decent.
I think it's fine.
Just Rocky Helmet Rough Skin. Just deal damage back. That's fine.
I was gonna say, unironically, you could take the like niche tier and make a team out of it, but you are absurdly weak to like, rock and ice and
fairy and Fluttermane just eats most of those alive.
Yeah, but he has Scizor, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, Lucario, meh.
It's pretty bad.
Capoudon, meh. Toxicroak, meh. Abomasnow, I still think
what is the world we live in where we ignore Hippowdon but we talk about Abomasnow?
Because Abomasnow, I think, is currently the only snow setter we have access to that does it automatically. Where
it's also good.
Like Obama's
the fact that it sets Blizzard is really good. Like the fact that it allows you to just Blizzard is really good.
It pairs well with Bundle because Bundle gets Aurora Veil, so now you get free Aurora Veil. That's very, very fast. I was talking about this in the group chat today, actually, trying to figure out how can I abuse like Prankster Thundurus with Bundle and like set Snow, because Thundurus doesn't get Snowscape, Tornadus does, but Tornadus doesn't get Electric Terrain, Thundurus does. And so I'm just like, man, if I could fit Abomasnow on this team, like it'd be great, but I don't think I can do that.
Yeah, I do think that I do think Abomasnow is good. I really do. I've played against it multiple times, and every time I have, I'm just like, man, this thing is really impressive. But it's just got
you have to Terra.
It
has to Terra. Like that's the thing. It's like it is a must Terra Pokemon, and I don't like those. I don't like being pigeonholed into I have to Terra this thing to win my matches. Yep. Like it makes you very predictable. Your opponents it makes you very easy to read. Your opponents can easily pick up and go, oh, he's probably going to Terra this in the next couple turns, so I'm going to build my 4 that I'm bringing around being able to beat it on both aspects of it. Done deal. I do think, like I said, we've been preaching it for a while. Abomasnow's bulks, really good. Between having access to Assault Vest and Snowscape, you could probably even tank some of your 4 times super effective hits and still live to talk about it the next turn.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I really like it, man, but I just don't know,
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I don't know, but I want it. I want it to be good, but I don't think it's going to be.
Agreed. Okay, let's talk about Heatran. This has become everyone's favorite fire type. I don't know if you've been watching enough coverage here lately. Heatran, like, Leftovers, Substitute, Protect, Heat Wave, Flash Cannon, Heatran is like the most popular set right now. It's just like, I'm going to set up sub. What are you going to do? Oh, you can't hit me now because I have whatever sitting next to me and you have to focus that? Click Heat Wave. I literally won a game today because I just spammed Heat Wave for like 8 turns in a row and they couldn't break my sub. They got burned on the 3rd Heat Wave and they could never break my sub again.
Like, all right, cool, go away.
Is it meta defining? Maybe.
I do. I actually think
you think
so.
it's that high?
I think it's really good, man. I think it's really good.
I think it is too.
All right, cool. that was way easier to talk about than I anticipated.
You don't have to convince me how good Heatran is. Heatran's one of my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah.
I love this lava frog. It's great.
Is it supposed to be a frog?
It's got the frog shape.
Yes, but is it a frog?
I don't know. It's a Pokemon. These are
the questions we need the answers to. Game Freak, what is Heatran? Is it frog?
It's a Pokemon. Let's be real.
True.
Cresselia. Is this in the same kind of vein? Is it meta defining? Or is it just pretty good?
I think it's also pretty meta defining. Man, it's so good. I think that's just the simplest way to put it. I think it's absolutely absurd.
I'm about to say it's just really good, right? Like there's no like the new signature move in Lunar Blessing is really good. There's like no downsides since you have Terra now, which is really cool. Don't mind me buying my jersey right now. You keep talking.
Are we getting Henry?
Yeah, we're gonna get Henry.
So Cresselia is absurd, right? Like it has been a format staple for every format that it's ever been in. And I don't see this one being any different. I think that it's good and it's going to continue to be good for the entire longevity of its career. And then you add in its new move, Lunar Blessing?
Yeah.
Lunar Wish?
Lunar Blessing.
Yes. And it's just like, you give it an immunity thanks to its ability. It just has so much going for it that it's hard not to just be in love with it. Did we get it?
I'm currently looking to see what the difference between these two jerseys are.
This Greedent has paralyzed me on the 2 body slams it's clicked.
Jeez, just unlucky, man.
Serene Grace Greedent over here. And like the first one was really impactful because it was on my Cinderace, and now it's able to now they're able to outspeed my Cinderace, and I'm sad. So let's see. I don't really think there's anything else to say about Cresselia. Be prepared to play against it if you're going to Worlds. It's really good.
There's going to be a Trick Room team with like Heatran and Rillaboom and stuff, and it's going to be really good. Like you're going to have to play him to beat it, and hopefully you can. Samurott, Hisui specifically.
Kind of sucks.
I'm about to say it's not singles. It's Water Dark type's cool, but it's hard to utilize well.
Yep.
I don't know. There's just a lot of things to like and a lot of things to not like at the same time about it.
Yep.
Hisui and Lilligant.
I think it's pretty bad too.
You think it's actually bad? You don't like Hisui and Lilligant?
I've tried it, man. I just don't think it's there.
All right.
I really, really wanted to like it, and it unfortunately is just not. This just ain't it, Chief.
Okay, understandable. It is kind of like gimmicky. You have to play like Sash or hope you outspeed, and that's hard to do when there's Prankster weather, obviously.
Yep.
And Prankster Tailwind like everywhere. So it's definitely harder to win with exactly Lilligant anymore. Plus, grass fighting doesn't do a whole lot for people anymore. Like, everyone's playing, like, these flying types and these psychic types and water types, which Lilligant's great into those, but, like, your best physical grass move, I think, is Leaf Blade.
That sounds correct. Yes, as a person who's played with it, that sounds correct.
So it's interesting to kind of look at it and just be like, this thing was going to be cool, but it's just not lining up that way.
Yep.
Uh, Crocodile. I think it's on the cusp of being like decent.
I think if you can say, like Water Tauros and Fire Tauros aren't bad, then Krook isn't bad. Like that's kind of where I'm at.
It probably needs more help than the Tauros combo. Like
I
Tauros
think I would agree.
You have a lot of weaknesses being a ground and dark type, but like you're fast, you hit hard. You don't have to play Intimidate. You have Moxie, that is an option. You can kind of just run people down. Maybe.
That is technically an option, yes.
Gothitelle. This thing's still pretty good. We have Cresselia, so Cresselia probably does the setup trick room thing better. But I still think Gothitelle is going to be around and kind of present. Unlike Indeedee. Indeedee is just falling off the face of the earth.
Yep.
With like the changes to things like Ally Switch have definitely hurt a lot of these more like supportive psychic types.
Big agree.
But I think Gothitelle kind of stands above them because it wasn't ever the Ally Switch that made it good. It was the I am locking you into your lead while I get to adjust and or just take out a Mon because I read your lead or you led bad or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty good. Amoonguss. Not as popular.
Yes.
Not as popular as it has been.
I think it is still just by far one of the best Pokemon in the format, though.
I don't know.
I think it is super underrated.
I think people have kind of like had you've gotten a ton of ways to just stop it from doing its thing, right? Like there's tons of Prankster Taunt. We now have access to Prankster Electric Terrain, which we didn't have before. Everyone
correct.
Goggles
which is so sick.
Goggles is the most popular item being played right now on Pokemon. Plus Cresselia. Cresselia just makes your Amoonguss do nothing. Like, you're going to click Rage Powder, you can't redirect Lunar Blessing. And if the Cresselia is Goggles, then you can't put it to sleep. And if you put its partner to sleep, it's just going to wake it up.
Yep.
Yep. There's hard counters to Amoonguss now, and I don't think it's going to be as good.
Yeah, I think it's... I still think it is very, very good.
Yeah, no, it's still pretty good. It's just not the upper echelon like it was before. Well, it was in previous formats.
I think I would agree with that. I think that it is definitely still something you're going to play against a ton, but it is not what it once was.
Yeah. Let's see here. We have Haxorus.
Sucks.
Fun fact.
It gets first impression.
Yeah, I was gonna say fun fact. It's one of the only Pokemon that gets first impression, which is interesting.
I've played against. I think I played like 4 or 5 Ranbats tonight. I played against first impression Slitherwing in like 3 of them.
That's
like,
a good one.
Well,
the first impression.
I don't have a switch in. What's my least useful Pokemon right now? Because it's going to die.
It's going to be sad. Yeah. Outside of first impression, there's not a lot going for Haxorus. Mold Breaker's cool, but you don't really need it. Like, there's not a lot of abilities you're wanting to ignore right now with Mold Breaker. Speaking of abilities to ignore, though,
I don't know if I've ever told you this story. It was one of the early draft leagues. I was playing against Evan, and he had Haxorus on his team.
Mm-hmm.
So to prep for it, I think it was Rotom Wash. I brought Air Balloon Rotom Wash so that he couldn't hit me with Earthquake.
Well, there you go.
It wasn't good enough because Evan's just way better at this game than I am.
Yeah.
But I had to bring a Air Balloon Levitate Pokemon to be able to beat Mold Breaker, and it just wasn't enough.
Understandable. I get to play Haxorus in Draft League, actually. Jay's got it on his team, so I've been prepping for that all week.
Neato Spedito.
Volcarona, man, I want this thing should be good, and it's not.
Yep.
Is that all we're gonna say about it? It should be good, but it's not.
Yep. I want it to be good, and it's just it's in the format
like,
for it.
Terra Grass with like Rage Powder and Flame Body, that should tear up Urshifu, right?
You would think so. And yet here we are.
Maybe the format just hasn't gotten there yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Again, it's another one of those like redirectors that wants the status stuff. Cresselia just says no.
Yeah.
Cool story, bro.
It's just stop it. Get some help.
It'd be a shame if I just managed to heal that burn off there for you.
It'd be a real shame if you just went literally anywhere else and did anything else.
Yep. Okay, Tornadus. Okay, Thunderous. Okay, Landorus.
Yeah, these are all really
these
good.
These three are the real good ones. Put the other two where they belong. Incarnate Landorus and Therian Thunderous they're going to see play. Like they already have seen play. I think Thunderous Therian either top 8'd or almost won an event. Like I know people have been playing with it a ton on like rain teams just because the base 125 special attack Wild Bolt Storm is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And so do with that information what you will.
Big egregious. You know, whatever. Do with it what you will.
Like, it's going to Oko things. Like, that's what it does.
Yeah. And when it does, it's going to hurt.
Talonflame, How the Mighty Have Fallen.
It's not good.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just like, we've got better options. Like, we're not, like, stuck with Murkrow as our best Tailwind, like, best prankster Tailwind setter anymore. There's a ton of stuff with Tailwind in general now. And like there was so many things that Talonflame had to like be playing to make sure that you could do your priority Tailwind and not have to worry about it as much. So Vivillon.
It's not very good.
No. As we're finding out in our draft leagues, it's not that great.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good.
Yeah.
I'll get rid of these. Sylveon. You want to talk about Sylveon?
It's really interesting, but I just still don't think it's very good.
I think it needs a lot of work. Like,
yeah.
Pixie Plate's back, so it has a different item. You don't have to play Throat Spray. Does that make the whole Hyper Beam, Terra Blast, Mystical Fire, Terra Fire, whatever set better? Probably. Like, I wouldn't want to be staring down a pixelized Pixie Plate Hyper Beam. That's scary.
That sounds terrifying, yes.
Like, the fact that you can just do it on turn 1 and not have to Hyper Voice or do whatever to set up. You can just click Hyper Beam and just probably OHKO anything that's not specially bulky.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. It's good. I like it. I'm not gonna play it, but I like it. Hisuian Gudra.
I think this is really good.
I think it's strong, but I don't think it's meta defining anymore. I think it's about on par with.
I think it's on par with Amoonguss. I think this is something you need to be prepared for. But like, it's fine.
It hit its peak way too soon. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
Like everybody, because it was noob toy syndrome, it spiked. Like first week of Regulation D on cart, and now everybody's played with it. They figured out how to beat it, and now it's going back down. I think this is it's gonna end up being like the Earthworm thing, right? Like it's good. There's a team that plays Sicilian Gudra, and it's probably going to do well, but it's going to do well because it got a lot of good matchups for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're into backwards Gen 9 because now Gen 7 and 8's down here. Okay. We can knock this out real quick. You're not good. 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 Get out of here. Get out. Get out. Get out. Bye. 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 No. No.
We probably could have done this all before, but then we don't. You don't get the
you don't get the comedy effect.
Mantra.
The comedy's like not there, and it's kind of boring. Just picking up stuff that I think is meh.
Yep.
Okay, I think that's enough of it.
Oh, I'm really dead.
Carter's dying.
My opponent has Dragon Arceus.
Yeah, you dead.
Did I mention it as Calm Mind?
you super dead. Mousehold. Thoughts on Mousehold?
It's a Pokemon in the format.
Do you think it's good?
It exists. No.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I
love House of Mouse, but I don't think
a lot of people are still really high on this Pokemon.
I mean, that's fine. They can be wrong.
Calling them out. Get them. I'm a little bit higher on it than you are probably. I think it's still got a spot in the format. I think it's the best follow me user we have in the game.
But what's that saying?
I think Tidy Up's going to be huge with so many subs that people are wanting to set up now. Like, I think that's ginormous, being able to just say, sorry, sub, get out of here. I think Mousehold is better than you're giving it credit for. It's got a home. It just needs to find that home.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
How the mighty have fallen, Garganical.
In case you're curious, I lost to the Dragon Arceus.
Yeah, not surprised. Garganical.
Garg is, man, I wanted to be good, but we both know it's not.
It is falling hard, right?
And I could be wrong. This could be a Pokemon that pops up at Worlds and is an absolute all-star, and then everyone, then we look like idiots for saying it's not good, right?
It needs help. It's in that's why it's in that category. It needs help. Yep. It needs something to go right.
It needs the perfect 5,
and to not run into half the Pokemon on this list. There's so much just random weaknesses to rock. There's Landorus, and you've got body press, and you've got water coverage, you've got fighting coverage, you've got ground coverage, there's just so many things that hit Garganical, especially now that we've got a lot of good special attackers in the format now.
Mm-hmm.
You need so much help. I didn't put Bramblegast in. You should probably play something else just because of Windrider. I'll have you know.
It's really good. But that doesn't... I don't know, man.
This is literally for the memes. There are people out here who play this Pokemon and win matches with it, and it's all just memes.
But, in those matchups, it's not a meme, right? In those matchups, it's one of the best things you could be doing. And that's why people are playing it.
The TLDR is Bleak Wind, Wild Bolt, Sandsear are all wind-based moves. Heat Wave, also a wind-based move, probably one of the more common moves you see on Heatran. You just ignore that. A lot of the moves that are popular right now are moves that Bramblegast just ignores, but are also the moves that people would be playing to hit it super effectively. And the fact that you have good Ghost Stab means that you just once their Fluttermane goes down, Bramblegast kind of just sits in front of people, especially if they're can't hit it, and just mows people down with Phantom Force or seed bomb or whatever. Palafin.
It sucks.
Do you want to put it in green?
No, I want to put it next to Charizard.
All right. Ahead of Charizard or behind Charizard?
Behind.
Okay.
How the mighty have fallen.
Well, you see, there was this big gap to fill. Palafin filled that gap. We've got better water types now. We don't need Palafin anymore.
Yep.
That's just how it works, right?
Yep.
Earthworm.
It was good. It's no longer good.
I think now that we have Hisuian and Goodra, Earthworm's kind of outclassed a little bit.
I think I'm kind of in that same boat where, like, this was good. I don't know if it still is.
The ground immunity is really good. The ground immunity is really good. Like, being able to go Terra whatever that has a ground weakness, and now you take a bunch of neutral or resistant hits to other stuff. That's really good for it. I know Jay will be on here next week and just will probably give us all sorts of crap about putting Earthworm a little bit lower. But
no, not we.
Oh no, I'll make sure to pass every message on to you.
I not we. This ain't my doing.
What, do you want it higher?
I think it's fine. I think it's a fine mon in the format.
Where do you want it then?
I don't know.
Is it better that, like, that's the reason it's down here, is it needs the team to work around it.
I think it's better than Salamence.
I don't think it's that good, because
I do.
I don't. I just don't see it anymore. Like, I don't see Earthworm being the body press Pokemon anymore. It's like, if you're going to do that, you just play Hisuian and Goodra. I think it and Garganacl are in the same boat. They have to have a team work around them, and you need to dodge certain matchups now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably right. Not in love with it, but I think you're right.
My logic is sound.
It is your logic is logic.
Yeah. Glamora is still like being played on the Dondozo teams. Why that is, I haven't a clue.
Don't question it, Carl.
I think Dondozo's fine. I don't think I like Glamora on those teams anymore.
It's kind of where I'm at.
Like, there's more steel types, right? Like, people are going Terra Steel now. Like, Terra Poison's popular. You can't poison those guys. You're not a Salazzle.
Yeah.
Toxic Spikes only works on grounded Pokemon too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So you can't even Toxic like the Tornadus, the Thundurus, the Cresselia, anything like that.
Yeah, the relevant mons.
That's an oof. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, no, I'm definitely off it now.
Yeah.
I think you should pack your Dozogiri hate still. Whatever team you're bringing.
I don't think you're incorrect. I think that is 100% accurate, correct, and viable. Yeah, like Dozo's going to continue to be good. Be prepared for it. If you don't, you're probably going to lose matches.
Yeah, whatever hate you've been bringing for Dozogiri, continue to bring it.
It's probably not enough.
It have a strong plan for it. Know how you're going to beat it. I know a lot of teams are doing like Thundy Rillaboom, and that answers it for the most part. Terra Grass is the most common Terra type, I think, for Dondozo right now. So even to an extent, like playing like your own Terra Grass Heatran can get you a win against a Dondozo if you get to force the Terra. So definitely have a plan for it going into Worlds for sure. Annihilate.
I don't love it.
Yellow or green, Carter? Pick a spot. Needs help. Needs help.
Yeah. It's definitely playable, but I'm not in love with it. That's just kind of where I'm at.
For Rigorath, has kind of evolved into being like the third best Trick Room setter in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow. I don't know how this worked, but I don't know if it's good
I
enough
don't-
to do that.
I don't know things.
It just won some event. That's all I remember.
Yep.
But again, that's probably more about the player than actually for Rickaraff. Who knows?
That's true.
King Gambit. Okay, I love this thing.
King Gambit's really freaking strong, but I couldn't tell you the last time I played against one.
I played against one today. Everything got bodied by Terra Dark Black Glass's Sucker Punch.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for them.
It was really good. I think King Gambit's interesting just because it's just like you do have access to that Defiant on there, so it's like, oh, you brought Landorus. My Sucker Punch probably KOs you now because you put me to +1. Like, you get to go ahead of like Scarf Lando because again, Sucker Punch has priority. You can Terra Dark and remove your ground weakness, so you're not really scared of it. Sucker Punch. There's also probably ranges where you just Oko Flutter anyway with Terra Dark Black Glass Sucker Punch.
Yeah, that's probably right.
So it's good. I don't know if it's popular enough to be played everywhere, but it's good.
Carl, don't mind Carl just dying over there.
Yeah. Great Tusk. And the other Scarlet Paradoxes. Thoughts on them? We know where we're putting Fluttermane. We don't even have to talk about this. Actually, here, hold on.
Holding. Is this Fluttermane tier?
Yes.
Okay.
We know where Fluttermane goes. It is still the best Pokemon in all of Scarlet and Violet. It hits everything. There's really nothing else to say about it. Great Tusk. This is a Pokemon that's been popping up here lately again. Ground and fighting coverage is really, really strong. It allows you to hit things like Arcanine and plays well with like Sunny Day Tornadus that we talked about earlier, or even Torkoal. Very fast, very physical, hits really hard. I've seen Choice Scarp, I've seen Sash. I don't really have a whole lot to say outside of that. I still think it's pretty good.
Yep. I actually really like Great Tusk. I would like it really a lot more in a format not dominated by Fluttermane. But
Yeah,
I
right.
Think like Fluttermane's gonna dominate every format it's in.
Yeah, it's just Fluttermane's just that good. Ghost Fairy, high speed, high special defense, high special attack. Most of the moves that would hit it for super effective damage outside of like Iron Head are going to be special, so it's just like really hard. So yeah, like Great Tusk, still really good.
Yep, big agree.
I got annoyed earlier by an Encore Disable Screamtail.
I actually, this last match I just played, I had Wish Protect Thunderwave Play Rough. And I'm just like, yep, that's a wall. I don't quite know how I'm going to punch through that one. I won.
Nice.
Thanks, Gumshoes.
Good job, Gumshoe. Okay. Let's see here. We got... Where'd I put it? Brute Bonnet, Slitherwing, Sandy Shocks, all kind of just meh. Iron Treads, Iron Moth, Iron Jugulus, also kind of just meh. Bundle, Iron Hands.
Bundle, it's good.
I'm about to say it's pretty good.
I think I would agree with pretty good.
Iron Hands probably meta defining. Like,
yep,
I've seen this team. I've seen this Pokemon 1v4 people.
It's almost like people don't respect it enough or something.
The insane. It's literally if Fluttermane is the best Pokemon, Iron Hands is probably second best. I'm not gonna lie. This thing, it's got so much bulk and it hits so hard. Sword stance lum sets are really cool. Safety goggles, Terrifier is really cool. Um, you can now play Cresselia next to this thing and it never dies. Like, you talked about it being a problem before. The only thing keeping Iron Hands in check is the fact that Flutter Mane's a thing.
Yeah.
Landorus obviously helps out this matchup a little bit. Being resistant to fighting and immunity to electric means that a lot of Iron Hands can't really hit you super effectively. So they have to have something else to hit you. But they could also Terra Grass, and now you have Earthquake and Rock Slide, and that's all you have to hit them. Like,
Yep.
unless you're playing U-turn. If you're playing U-turn, cool, more power to you.
Yeah, like sure.
But going into Terra Grass for Iron Hands is really good right now. Going into Terra Fire's fine. It does lose you the Landorus matchup pretty easily. I would not be surprised to see like Terra Water with Terra Blast going into Worlds. I would not be surprised to see Iron Hands change types again and going to a world where it can hit Landorus for super effective damage.
Not only, well, I was gonna say not only does that hit Landorus, but it also hits Heatran. But you already hit the Heatran super effectively.
Yeah.
Um,
Which you also still just click Drain Punch into Heatran if they go Terra Grass.
Yeah, that's very true. Trying to think what you could do that covers both like Heatran and Landorus, and like specifically like Terra Grass and or Terra Bug Heatran plus Landorus. Rock comes to mind, but like that sounds really bad.
Rock hits Heatran for neutral, but you're weak to ground. Yeah.
And you're weak to steel then as well. Yeah, that doesn't seem very good.
Yeah, I think water is the best thing because just everything's a neutral hit or better. Like,
yeah, I mean, if you look at the top tier here, like water hits everything mostly for like neutral damage outside of Dragonite and the Dozo twins.
Yeah. So I could see a world where Iron Hands leans into Terra Water, or heck, even maybe Terra Ice with like Ice Punch just to pick up KOs, or they just start carrying Ice Punch. That is also a possibility. They don't even have to Terra. They just start carrying Ice Punch and just punish your Landorus really hard. Let's see here. Baxcalibur. I know we talked about this a little bit ago. I don't think it's great, but I think it's got a spot in the format. I think it does really cool things, but I don't know if it's very, very good right now.
Yeah, Baxcalibur is fine. Gholdengo I like.
Gholdengo's gotten better, in my opinion. It's not meta-defining, but it's definitely gotten better into Regulation D than it was in Regulation C. It's easier to answer Flutter Mane now. You have better tools to outspeed it, so you can play your Gholdengo a little bit looser and play a little bit more damage-oriented Gholdengo if you want to, rather than kind of leaning into a slower, bulkier, so you can try to live certain hits and be forced to Terra, like Terra Water or whatever. You have much better options, I think, for Terra types on Gholdengo. You're not forced into Terra Water all the time. It definitely...
Big agree.
Steel's a better type, like coverage type now. There's more Pokemon to hit neutral, especially for things like Cresselia, who are going to Terra Fairy and try to dodge Dark and other stuff. Having that Gholdengo being able to make it rain is a little bit of a bonus.
Yep.
We're on to the ruins. Wo-Chien is kind of meh. Chien-Pao, get up here next to Dragonite and Arcanine and all that.
Big agree.
Ting-Lu, probably still pretty good. Chi-Yu, probably the same.
I think Ting-Lu needs some help.
You think it needs to be lower?
I'm not in love with it. I think
You think you like that,
I
or do you like
I think
this?
Wo Chien could drop down.
There you
I think it's garbage.
go.
I like this. I just had a game where Wo Chien was on my team. I'm just like, if this was literally anything, that was the game I lost to Arceus. Had it been literally anything else,
Had it been a Flutter Mane, I would have won. Yeah.
Fluttermane's probably like level 35 in Ranbats or something.
Roaring Moon. I think that Pokemon's still pretty good. I think
it's fine.
I think the acrobatics set is getting some traction again. It's actually going to probably be decent now. There's a lot of things that are just like, you have flying coverage. I don't like that.
Stop it.
Stop it. Leave me alone. Yeah,
Go away.
There's some cool things you can do with Roaring Moon that are like in this really early hyper offensive format that Roaring Moon can kind of just punish and abuse.
Yep. Big agree.
Get out of here. Get out of here. No, 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 no. Nope. 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 Okay. That was pretty much all the Gen 7 stuff. Let's talk about Rillaboom.
Rillaboom is fine.
You want to put it in pretty good?
I'm not in love with it.
I think Rillaboom has surpassed Amoonguss as like the most popular grass type, but I still think Iron Hands is the best grass type.
Yeah.
Rillaboom is a grass type you don't have to Terra into. That's pretty much
very true. Very, very true.
Fake Out's really good. U-Turn, Grassy Terrain's really good alongside a lot of these Pokemon like Heatran that are doing sub stuff. Knockoff's really powerful. Woodhammer hits like a truck. There's a lot to like, especially with like Urshifu Rapid Strike being popular. You can kind of pivot in on that and eat that hit pretty easily. Yeah, it's good. No Grassy Glide means it's not meta defining, but it's still pretty good.
Yep.
No. Yeah. We're going to talk about Grimmsnarl for half a second.
Okay, talk to me.
I think now that we're into this Regulation D format, I think Grimmsnarl's moved up from you probably should be playing something else to it probably has a spot to play in right now. Prankster Screens is really, really powerful. Now that everyone's kind of trying to push their damage over the top, things like Ursaluna and all these other high offensive power mons, you can get a light screen or a reflect off, and it just messes up calcs for the entire rest of the game because that's how long the game's going to last. Like you're not pigeonholed into playing light clay anymore. So I think you could do some other cool items like Covert Cloak and stuff like that, to where now you're like, you can't fake out me. I'm getting my screens up. Now I'm going to do this, or I can prankster Scary Face or whatever. I do think that there is a world where we'll see Grimmsnarl at Worlds, and it probably do pretty well.
I think Grimmsnarl's really good, man. I really do. I have been a big fan of Grimmsnarl for
a hot minute.
I mean, at least this generation, a hot minute.
Yeah, like this generation for sure. You were very anti Grimmsnarl and Sword and Shield, but that's because it was everywhere.
It's because it did everything. I hate it. I'm back on hating it.
Now you have Parting Shot.
It's actually really cool.
That's actually really good for it. Yeah. Dragapult. I don't think it's Dragonite good. I think it's decent. I don't think it's Dragonite good though. I think I would play Roaring Moon before I play Dragapult. I think
I probably agree with you.
I'm maybe I might like thinking about how fast Dragapult is and how hard it can hit. Like they have to have a normal type or a dark type in their Flutter Mane to pivot in for their Flutter Mane slot if you click Phantom Force, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like unless they're exactly Booster or Scarf or they have Photosynthesis speed, your Dragapult's going to go first, right?
Yeah.
And you get to hide away from all the damage. They can't protect in front of you because that's how it works. And so they have to pivot Fluttermane out or find a way to tank that hit. And if, say, Chien Pao happens to enter on the other side, whatever's coming into that slot to take that Phantom Force probably isn't going to be very happy.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
And Dragon Dart's being smart aim is actually decent for it too.
It's so cool.
I talk myself into pretty good. I think it's pretty good.
I think that's a fair assessment.
I think it's good. Darkfu. Yes, this is Darkfu.
Darkfu's worse than Waterfu. Still good, worse than Waterfu.
How much worse than Waterfu? Pretty good?
Like 1 tier.
Okay,
yeah.
There you go. Rapid Strike Urshifu. This thing is a menace.
Yeah.
They gave it Aqua Jet, and it's got Surging Strikes and Close Combat, and you just hit really hard, and there's not a whole lot to say outside of that. Water and Fighting is good coverage. It hits a lot.
Who knew?
Right? It's like they didn't plan for this at all. And then Darkfu, I think there's a world where like Choice Band Darkfu still does stuff. I had a match. Someone Wicked Blowed into their own Primate to trigger Anger Point. It took like 70% of its HP.
That's awesome.
They Terra Fired, so they went away from fighting into Terra Fire. So they took more damage than they needed to. Then they clicked They clicked Rage Fist into something, and then my Heatran behind it sub promptly clicked Heat Wave, and I got a crit on the Primate, and it just died. I don't know what their bulk was on the Primate to where it took that much from a Heat Wave, but it did.
Yeah, like who cares at that point, right?
Like, I'll take it. I got the free KO, and they promptly quit after that.
It's like, hey, by the way, out of here.
Get out of here. We'll talk about you. Regieleki.
Do we have to?
I think we got to put it somewhere. It's got to be somewhere up here.
It's fine.
It's got to go somewhere, right? Like,
yeah,
it's okay.
I think it's fine.
Is it great? I don't know. Are we gonna see it? Probably. Regidrago, kind of the same boat. We'll probably see it. It's gonna be good. In certain spots. Spectrier. Okay, so this thing has started to tick up in popularity a little bit. Specifically with Grimmsnarl. Jamie Boyd put out a YouTube short and it took off. Talking about using the combination of Grimmsnarl and Spectrier to kind of just handle a lot of the big powerful threats that's currently running around. And the fact, like, you have Snarl and Will-O-Wisp and Shadow Ball, and then you have Screens and Scary Face or Thunder Wave and whatever. Like, it handled, like, this duo handled a lot. Is it gonna be good? Are we gonna see it? Probably not. But it needed to be brought up because it's cool. It does a lot of cool things. But I don't think we'll see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 3 Pokemon left. We're almost done. Ursaluna.
Hey, I don't want to put it in meta defining, but I think people need to be prepared for it.
Yeah, honestly.
But like, I also don't think it's good.
I think it's good. I just think people have a ton of respect for it right now. And as people get closer to Worlds to start testing for stuff, that respect is probably going to wane a little bit. And we'll start to see Ursaluna do more stuff going forward. I think that's just how it is. Basque Legion. It's probably the best Swift
I really
swimmer.
like Basque Legion. It's the best rain abuser.
Like, just last respects and... Did it get Wave Crash? I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it runs people over.
Just get them.
When in doubt, it also has adaptability. So,
Yeah.
like...
And then Overquill... I think this Pokemon, again, is underexplored a little bit. Overquill's really good.
I love Overquill, man.
Like, I think, like, an Assault
I just won a game
Vest,
because of it.
if it I don't remember if it has Snarl. If it has Snarl, like, there's, like, a crazy Assault Vest, like, bulky Assault Vest Intimidate set sitting there waiting for us.
Is that it?
That's all of them.
Alright, cool. Bye, guys. Oh, man. Well, it's been real. It's been fun.
Yep, we got it all done. Only in an hour and a half.
Color me surprised. I really did not expect this. So,
Do you see
our
how
original
big this
thought is-
green box is?
It bad.
I saved us
It real
so
not
much
good.
time.
You're not wrong. That's the worst part. Like, there's a handful that we actually talked about. And we're just like, man, I wish this was better.
Yeah. It's just like, we touched on a lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
I think if you prep for everything from yellow up, I think you're going to be set for Worlds. I think you will do just fine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anything in the green tier really catching you that hard off guard, just because there's
I'm ready
stuff that hits harder or does something better.
I'm ready for the Hisuian Electrode, Iron Moth, Halucha. Do we have a terrain setter down here? Give me something to work with, Halucha. I need something, Carl.
Indeedee wasn't on the list, but they eat.
Indeedy.
There you go.
Cool. Perfect.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. This has been a fun one. Also, I looked it up. Heatran is the Lava Dome Pokemon. It doesn't tell me if it's a frog or not.
Yeah, it wasn't going to tell you if it was a frog or not, but because Heatran got Pounce, that's the canon that's in my head now.
It's a frog because it can pounce?
Yep. It can jump.
Sure, man.
It can jump, so it's a frog. It is
You know what?
frog shaped.
That is logic. If people don't listen to all the way to the end of the episode, like, that's on them.
Yep,
There's
they're
some
missing
gold
out.
here at the end.
They're missing out.
But I think it's about time we get out of here so I can go eat and go to bed.
Yep, agreed.
So, as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you're listening on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what you want to see next week, because they probably need some ideas, and I'm not going to be here, so that's not my problem next week.
I'll make it your problem.
I'm calling in. I'm calling my boss right now. Tell him I'm calling in. Hey, Carl, by the way, I'm not coming in next week. But yeah, if you want to throw some ideas for what you want to see, by all means, we would love to hear them down in the comment section. Past that, if you're listening on any of the audio platforms, give us a like, give us a review, give us that hot, fresh 5-star review. It really does help us out, push us against the algorithm, and get our stuff out there for people who haven't heard us yet. Past that, you can always follow us on Twitter at LR Lessons. You can follow myself at Mr. Missouri25. Carl's at Musical VGC. Carl and I are both on Twitch. Carl's been streaming here lately, doing his Draft League stuff. You can follow him over there at Musical. You can find myself at Mr. Missouri25. Past that, if you want to hang out with us in our amazing community, you can do so over on Discord. That link is always down in the show notes. I don't know if we've ever actually plugged it, but our email's also in the show notes. Questions, comments, concerns can always be sent us there as well as like, future business inquiries, anything, that you want to have related to the show, you can always leave down there. Yeah, I think it's been a long time since we've actually plugged that, so that might be something
I check
that
it every
people
day,
just don't know
so.
there. Yeah, I check it anytime I get a notification saying, hey, you have an email. let's see. You can check out the website at lrlessons.com. There's where our like list of calendars and all that good stuff is related to the podcast and what you can see every day up there. You can also check out the merch shop while it's still up, while we eventually figure things out. And I feel like I'm missing something.
Patreon.
Yes, thank you. I want to give a special shout out to our patrons over at patreon.com. Starting at that $5 or $10 tier, you get a verbal shout out every month. So I'd like to give a shout out to Johnny Bravo Sr. over on Patreon. And, Discord has subscription services too. I'd like to give a shout out to Smeargle over there as well. So thank you all so much. Really do appreciate the support. You can, support us for like 50 cents an episode. And it really does help us out. So
Yep.
I think that's actually factually everything this time.
You got it. That's it.
Cool. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. And until next week, have a good one. Peace.